$10 million. How can it continue to change everything when the past you walked away from suddenly returns, stronger, colder, and determined to take control again? The village had barely begun to adjust to the changes Jack brought when something entirely different arrived. Something that didn't belong, something that disrupted not just the peace, but the balance he had been trying to build. It started with a sound. Engines, low at first, then growing louder, cutting through the quiet rhythm of the village like something foreign and unwelcome. Heads began to turn. Conversations stopped. Children ran toward the entrance of the village, curiosity lighting up their faces. Then they saw it. A line of black luxury cars slowly rolled in, their polished surfaces reflecting the dusty road and simple wooden houses around them. The contrast was striking, almost unreal. People stepped aside instinctively, creating a path without being asked. "Who is that?" someone whispered. Jack, standing near the center of the village, felt something tighten in his chest before he even turned, because he already knew. The cars came to a stop. The door of the first vehicle opened slowly. And then she stepped out. Halan, elegant, impeccable, untouched by the dust, the heat, or the simplicity around her. Her presence alone seemed to silence everything else. Jack's expression hardened instantly. Tu Tien, standing beside him, felt it too. The shift, the tension, the invisible pressure that followed this woman like a shadow. "So," Halan said, her voice calm but carrying effortlessly across the space, "this is where you chose to disappear." Jack stepped forward slightly, placing himself just a little ahead of Tu Tien. "What are you doing here?" he asked, his tone controlled but cold. Halan glanced around, her eyes scanning the village slowly, taking in every detail. The worn houses, the uneven ground, the people watching her with a mix of curiosity and discomfort. "I had to see it for myself," she replied. "The place that made my son throw away everything." Her gaze shifted and landed on Tu Tien. The silence that followed felt heavier than before. "And you must be her," Halan said, her tone neutral, but her eyes anything but. Tu Tien didn't step back. She met that gaze directly, even though she could feel the weight behind it. "Yes," she said quietly. Halan looked at her for a moment longer than necessary, then let out a faint, almost dismissive breath. "I see." Jack's jaw tightened. "Don't." Halan turned back to him, one eyebrow lifting slightly. "Don't what?" "Don't come here and judge people you don't understand," Jack said firmly. A faint smile appeared on her lips. "Oh, I understand perfectly," she replied. "I understand that you left a billion-dollar empire for this." The word "this" hung in the air like an insult. Tu Tien felt it. So did everyone else. Jack took a step closer, his voice lower now. "Say what you came here to say." Halan didn't hesitate. "Come back," she said simply. The directness of it cut through everything. "Come back to your life, to your position, to your responsibility." Jack didn't even pause. "No." The answer came instantly, but Halan didn't react the way most people would. She simply nodded slightly, as if expecting it. "I thought you might say that," she said calmly, "which is why I came prepared." That sentence shifted something. Jack narrowed his eyes. "What do you mean?" Halan didn't answer him immediately. Instead, she turned toward Tu Tien and stepped closer. The movement was slow, deliberate, controlled. Tu Tien stood still, but her body tensed slightly. Jack noticed. "Don't involve her," he said sharply. Halan ignored him. "You seem like a smart girl," she said to Tu Tien, her voice softer now, but far more dangerous. "So I'll speak to you directly." Tu Tien held her gaze, even as something in her chest tightened. "I'm listening," she said. Ha-lan nodded once. "Good." There was a brief pause. Then she said it. "I want you to leave him." The words landed like a shockwave. The entire space seemed to freeze. Jack's expression changed instantly. "Enough!" But Ha-lan raised her hand slightly, stopping him without even looking. "I'm not finished," she said calmly. Her eyes never left Tu Tien. "I'm willing to compensate you," she continued, "generously." The meaning was clear. Too clear. Tu Tien felt something break quietly inside her. Not because she didn't expect resistance, but because of how little she was valued in that moment. "You think I'm with him for money?" Tu Tien asked, her voice steady but softer now. Ha-lan tilted her head slightly. "I think everyone has a reason." Jack stepped forward immediately, his voice sharp. "Stop this!" But Tu Tien didn't move. She kept looking at Ha-lan. "And if I say no?" she asked. Ha-lan's expression didn't change. "Then you'll be standing in the way of his future," she said. "And eventually, he will have to choose." Silence, heavy, unavoidable. Jack felt it completely now. The pressure, the line, the choice. "Don't do this," he said, his voice lower now, not angry but strained. But it was already happening. Tu Tien looked at Jack, then back at Ha-lan. Her eyes no longer showed just calm or strength. There was pain there now, real, deep. "I'm not something you can buy," she said quietly. Ha-lan studied her for a moment, then gave a small nod. "We'll see," she replied. That calm confidence was more unsettling than anger, because it meant she wasn't finished, not even close. Around them, the villagers watched in silence, witnessing something far beyond money or status. This was something else, a confrontation between two worlds, and Jack was standing right in the middle of it. Not as a CEO, not as a savior, but as a man being forced to choose family or love. $10 million. How can it continue to change everything when the moment of choice is no longer abstract, but standing right in front of you, demanding an answer you are not ready to give? The air in the village had turned completely still, as if even the wind was waiting to see what Jack would do next. No one spoke. No one moved. All eyes were on him. Jack stood between two worlds. On one side, his mother, powerful, composed, representing everything he used to be. On the other side, Tu Tien, quiet but strong, representing everything he had chosen to become. And for the first time, he felt truly torn. "Say something," Ha-lan said calmly, breaking the silence. "Or is this decision harder than you expected?" Jack clenched his jaw slightly. "There is no decision." Ha-lan raised an eyebrow. "Isn't there?" He turned to her, his voice firm. "I already chose." Her gaze sharpened. "Then prove it." The pressure in her words was unmistakable. Jack didn't respond immediately, because even though he knew what he felt, saying it out loud in this moment with everything at stake, it was different. Tu Tien watched him, not with anger, not with expectation, but with something far more painful. Uncertainty. That hurt more than anything Ha-lan had said. "Jack," she spoke softly. He turned to her. Their eyes met. And in that moment, everything else disappeared. The villagers, the cars, the tension, the past, just the two of them. "You don't have to prove anything," she said quietly. "Not to anyone." Jack felt something tighten in his chest, because she was giving him something his mother never had. Freedom. And somehow, that made the decision even harder. Ha-lan let out a small, almost amused breath. "You see, even she understands. This isn't her world." That sentence cut deeper than before. Tu Tien lowered her gaze for just a second. Just a second, but Jack saw it, and that was enough. "Stop!" Jack said, his voice low but sharp. Ha Lan looked at him. "I'm serious," he continued. "You don't get to come here and decide what her place is." Ha Lan's expression remained calm, but there was a shift, subtle but real. "I'm not deciding," she said. "Reality is." Jack took a step forward. "No," he said. "You're trying to control everything, like always." The words landed. This time, Ha Lan didn't immediately respond, because this wasn't just defiance. It was confrontation. "You think this is about control?" she asked slowly. "I know it is," Jack replied. A long silence followed. Then Ha Lan sighed softly, as if something had finally become clear to her. "Fine," she said. "Let's be honest then." Her tone changed, less formal, more direct. "You're not just choosing her," she said. "You're choosing to throw away everything you built, everything I built for you." Jack didn't flinch. "I already did that," he said. "And you think $10 million is enough to replace it?" Ha Lan asked. Jack didn't answer, because deep down, he knew that wasn't the point, but it was still a question he couldn't fully ignore. Ha Lan stepped closer, lowering her voice. "This money you have now," she said, "it won't last, not the way you're using it. And when it's gone, what will you have left?" Jack's eyes flickered slightly, because for the first time, doubt touched him again. Not about Tu Tien, but about the future. Ha Lan saw it and pressed further. "You're building something fragile," she continued, "something based on emotion, not strategy. And when it collapses, you'll have nothing." Tu Tien looked at Jack. She could see it too, the hesitation, the weight of those words. And for the first time, she stepped back, just slightly. "Maybe she's right about one thing," Tu Tien said quietly. Jack turned to her, surprised. "What?" "You shouldn't lose everything because of me," she continued. That sentence hit harder than anything else. "No," Jack said immediately. "Don't say that." But Tu Tien shook her head gently. "I don't want to be the reason you regret your life," she said. Jack stepped closer to her. "You're not." "How do you know?" she asked. He didn't answer right away, because the truth was, he didn't know. And that silence said everything. Ha Lan watched the moment unfold, her expression calm but her eyes sharp. Because this was what she had been waiting for. Not force, not pressure, but doubt, the most powerful thing of all. "Take your time," she said softly. "I'll be here." She turned slightly, signaling to her driver but didn't leave. Not yet. Because she knew the real battle wasn't between her and Jack. It was already happening, inside him. Jack stood there, caught between two truths he couldn't reconcile. Tu Tien looked at him one last time. There was no anger, no accusation, just quiet pain. "I think," she said softly, "you need to figure this out." Then slowly, she turned and walked away. Jack's hand lifted slightly, instinctively, as if to stop her. But this time, he didn't. Because for the first time since everything began, he didn't know which direction to choose. And behind him, Ha Lan watched in silence, knowing. The decision had already started breaking him apart.